Slingin The Bizkit, episode 13. That intro song is American Idiot from Green Day 2004. That was a Bohemian Rhapsody-esque album. I don't know if you knew that or not, Pat.
I did not. I'm usually out of the loop with your intro songs, but
Yes, that's okay. We like it that way.
yeah.
The backstory behind that, Green Day had written an album. The master tape had gotten lost. Instead of re-recording all the songs, Billy Joe just said, you know what? We're going to scrap it. We're going to write a whole new album. Really? Yep. American Idiot. Boom.
Fucking American classic.
Yeah, I know. You know what? American Idiot's great. Boulevard of Broken Dreams is great. You know what's really underrated? Jesus of Suburbia. It is literally the Bohemian Rhapsody of modern day punk rock. It's incredible. That'll be our intro song for episode 14 if we're still around by next week.
You gotta link me that then, because I don't know it. And I actually do like punk rock.
Perfect. Well, you've come to the right place. Slinging the Bizkit, episode 13. Powered by Billy's Smelling Salts. We'll get into our ad read later. We love that money. Keep it coming, baby. We got a couple house cleaning notes, as always. We have a viewer of the week. As always, if you're listening to us for the first time, or maybe you have no idea because you haven't listened to us in a couple weeks, we have a viewer of the week who basically slings us some BS story. They like to sling the biscuit with us, and they tell us some absolutely absurd story, how we saved their life, how we did something miraculous to them. We actually saved a guy from a bear attack last week, which
no
is
big deal.
Pretty nice. When he told that story about the bear attack and us saving him, I pictured Leonardo DiCaprio from The Revenant and him getting mauled by the bear, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Hey Siri, play Slingin The Bizkit." Saved his life. That's what I pictured in my head.
The bear. The fun fact about the bear in that movie. You've seen like the skits I do with that kid with the long blonde hair from Minnesota, little thicker.
Is he the bear?
No, his cousin is though. He's a big stuntman in L.A. Tim Satars. He's the bear in that movie. Just a fun fact. Yeah.
Really? Good to know. Tim.
Yes, in case you were wondering.
But our viewer of the week came in and said, I think my YouTube may be broken. I commented saying I wanted to see tips and training videos, but I can't see it because I was listening to the podcast and it made me so liquored I couldn't remember how to re-hit the subscribe button.
I'm so confused. What does that even mean?
I don't know.
He got drunk off of our pod?
Yeah, I think so. It doesn't have to mean anything. It gets the people going. It got me going. It got me excited. It got me fired up. And here we are for a Thursday morning drop.
It's like those like videos that you'll watch them and they make you drunk or high. You know what I mean? If you listen to our podcast, it just makes you shit-faced.
It's like when you play that one song over on repeat 300 times until you can't stand anymore, then you find that new song, and then you roll through another week.
Yeah, essentially the same thing.
We got a few housekeeping notes, as always. I can't remember the viewer's name. I didn't write that one down, but a couple things to note. Sorry about that. I think Caleb, I think that was his name. I'm screwing that up, but... housekeeping things. I got a little update for you last week. Our boy Tim playing basketball on the streets, shooting that pigskin around. Tim, right?
Yeah, Timmy.
I saw his daughter on Hinge a couple days ago. Yes. Okay. And I immediately was like, I need to look through her bio and maybe have a good laugh. And I looked through it, and she had in her bio, debate with me that the B movie is better than Shrek, because it is. And I thought to myself, this is exactly why we're not together anymore. And I said I shouldn't, but I dabbled and I messaged her and I said, what is wrong with you? Like, the B movie? Listen, COVID's getting to all of us, but come on. Can we not get a grip here? Can we get a little bit of a reality check here? The B movie? Anyway, I digress. I did not get a message back either, by the way. That was shocking.
Oh, she's done with you. She probably heard you were talking shit about her on the pod.
Yeah, her dad. God bless his soul, Tim. I miss you, buddy. Let's shoot some hoops.
That's a funny coincidence. But also, you're on Hinge, huh? Even though you got a yoga partner in the house.
I dabble. I still scout. Just because the St. Louis Blues win the Stanley Cup doesn't mean they don't draft prospects. You're keeping the pools tight.
Yeah. There's a at bat on deck in the hole, and then in some cases there's a whole dugout. In this case,
can you imagine? If John Cooper or who's the GM for Tampa, it's not Stevie Eiserman anymore. Whatever his name is, he walks up and says, "Yeah, with the 31st overall pick, we won the cup last year. Fuck it, we're not drafting anybody. I'm going to the beach. I'm going golfing today."
That's a great point. It's a great point. Why would you stop? Yeah, you can't quit at halftime. You're right. You make a really great point there.
You got to chip them in deep and work that half wall. A couple other housekeeping things. My dad grilled me last week in the car. We were going to go grocery shopping for Sunday dinner. and
Yo.
he did not like your sex story from last week, Pat.
Did I tell a sex story?
You did tell a sex story.
What was it?
I can't remember. I just the memory of the sex story was drowned out by my dad being very disgruntled about it, and he asked, "I don't want to hear that." And I said, it is what it is.
I told a sex story last week?
Yes, you did.
How detailed did I go?
I mean, you got probably one pretty detailed that my dad was
Come
pissed off
on.
about in the car.
Give me the deets. I forget.
My dad will shoot me a text after he listens to this and refresh my memory.
Did I really?
Yeah, you did. I'm telling you the honest goods. It really did. Couple few other housekeeping notes. Today's guest pointed this out. I got a bicycle in the back. I got a new bike, fresh wheels, fresh whip. When my dad came over on Sunday, he comes in, and I introduced him to my woman. I'm like, "Dad, this is Pauline. Pauline, this is my dad." And he doesn't even say hi. And he's like, "Oh, you got a bike? How much did that cost you?" I said, "Oh, I spent $800 on it." And he's like, "Why would you spend that kind of money on a bike? You can buy a car for that." I was like, "Dad, I don't know what kind of cars you're buying, but that's more reliable than the cars you're buying for $800. I guarantee that."
Yeah.
You should have kept your truck. Should have kept your truck. Thing was bleed me dry. This thing is way more reliable than my truck. And instead of paying $1.29 for gas, I just doubled down on the protein French toast, baby.
There you go. Hey, shout out to the dads. Father's Day just passed. Shout out to our dads. My dad's been doing a lot of curls. He's looking pretty jacked. He's feeling good about himself. Walking around the house shirtless and shit. So shout out.
I saw that in the day in the life video you posted. Your dad was looking nice. He's looking good.
Yeah, he's 58-year-old jacked right now. He's a natural 58-year-old jacked. That's what he is.
I find it scary. Like my grandmother can barely walk at 90 years old. My mom's kind of getting to the same point, and your dad's 58 years old, just pumping iron like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah.
Best year of his life. Best summer.
Yeah, he looks better now than he did at 30. Like he literally sat around for like fucking 20 years, and all of a sudden he's like, you know what, I'm gonna start working out, and he looks pretty good.
Now here's the main question: is he vaxxed and waxed? Is he ready to fuck this summer?
Yeah, he's vaxxed. He's vaxxed up. He's a taken man though, But like you said, the point you made already, it's why would you stop scouting if you win the championship? It's a great
keep
point.
that prospect pool stocked up, baby.
Yeah.
And one final thing I'll leave you with before we get into today's podcast. So my dad came over for Sunday dinner, and we had butter chicken for dinner. My dad says, "That sauce is incredible, son. Do you mind if I take home some?" I said, "Oh, sure." So I give him about a half liter to take home. He takes it home, and he texts me back about 3 hours later. He's like, "Son, I put that sauce on my hamburgers tonight, and it was incredible." I'm like, "What are you? You're putting butter chicken sauce on your beef burgers? What? What?" God helps them who help themselves.
What a weapon.
But yeah, what a liability.
Yeah.
Just a loose cannon back there. But anyway, let's stop talking about my dad, because he's going to call me and I'll have a half hour talk with him about this when I see him next. We got a guest for today's podcast. Was requested, and it was someone we did want to talk about, and perfectly on time with the announcement of my Sweden signing this week. That was Monday's video. Former roommate, the vegan himself, Liam Sweeney, has joined the podcast to talk some shit about Ivan and the Flemingsburg Raiders. We call them the Flemingsburg Raiders because they raided us of all of our dignity, and we sold out to the man. Welcome to the podcast, Liam Sweeney.
Great to be here, fellas. Great to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Fuck Anders, the landlord. Fucking asshole.
Did he say you're a vegan?
I was vegetarian, then I moved in with Trav in Sweden, and that started to slowly...
Okay. Out of curiosity, what made you become a vegetarian? Was it that vegan documentary?
No, I don't like documentaries. Like the fish one that just came out was terrible. I don't like all those things. It's really like bad science involved with it. But it was actually just a few people that I trained with said that they'd gone vegan or vegetarian, and they just really liked their performance in whatever sport they were playing. And
yeah.
They said, just give it a try for 2 weeks, see how you feel. Then I was like, okay, I'll do it for another 2. And then I just kept going. And I did it for a year and a half.
Oh, shit. That's hardcore. And then Trav just said, nah, you're done. You're done.
Living in Sweden, I kind of also wanted to take in all the culture and all that.
Sure.
So try a lot of different food. And groceries are expensive. So, sometimes you got to make some sacrifices.
Pat, I'll tell you a story right here, okay? The prices of meats and dairy in Sweden are astronomical. They're incredibly expensive. Like it almost single-handedly forces you. If you're not making 80 grand a year, you got to eat vegetarian and you got to go full vegan. And but for whatever reason, the whole roasted chicken, the pre-cooked chicken you get in the bag, she's hot, roasty, toasty, is like $7 for a bird. The whole raw chicken is like 20. I couldn't believe it.
That's weird.
Like, I'm gonna pay $20 and I gotta go home and do some work, or I can just take the bird and munch it on the bus. I'll just grab a chicken, grab a drumstick and just crush it on the bus. It was incredible.
Yeah, that's weird.
And Mr. Vegan over here, I'm sitting on the deck one day crushing my bird, and he comes over and he yanks the wings off my bird. I'm like, "What are you doing? I'm eating that. That's my dinner." And he's like, "Oh, I wanted to try a wing." Just crushes my wings on my bird.
I love how you call it a bird.
My poultry.
Eating my bird.
Hey, the fish was cheap in Sweden too, but actually to that story, that's actually from, I know which video that's from. That's from the one where you're like, when you start the video off and you're going, all right, I'm gonna crush this whole bird and pretend I'm Connor Hellebuck while watching Connor Hellebuck.
Yeah, I was watching the Connor Hellebuck montage at that point, but the camera was off when he did steal the wings. I crushed most of the board.
That's
turned the
tough.
camera off. And he buried my wings.
It was one wing.
Just a wing.
It was a wing and a drummet. Don't lie. It was one wing.
Bro, you ate a whole entire chicken. You could sacrifice a wing.
You had a little bit of the thigh too. You got a little thigh in there.
He pulled it off. He pulled a little piece.
Travis, the chef himself, is not giving away the thighs.
Yeah, Trav's a big thigh guy.
He's a thigh guy.
Buddy, the oyster in that thigh is cash money. No, I'm not a chicken breast guy. I like the white meat. I like the white meat.
Hell yeah.
I'll tell you one story to kind of kick things off before we get into the Sweden debacle. So Swedes and I are living together, and we're living in this dump, right? Like this one bedroom suite. And if you're listening to the podcast, you can't see. I'm using air quotes, and I use one bedroom suite extremely lightly. We're talking a tool shed disguised as a one bedroom suite. You can put a dress on a pig, put lipstick on her, it's still a pig, no matter what way you spin it, right? And so we've been hosed. The place was supposed to be $500. It's now $1,000 a month for this tool shed. The owner comes in, and he says, "Hello, boys. I hope everybody's doing well. I got you some new appliances. I got you, coffee cup. I got you some plates, a pan. It's going to be very nice. By the way, the rent just went up $500. So now it's $1,500. And he comes, he gets us to sign his contract. I just put an X because I wanted him to fuck off. He leaves. I said to Swings, I'm like, "Man, those are the most expensive pans and coffee cup you'll get in your life. $500, the rent just went up. Not just a one-time fee, a monthly fee of $500 for that coffee cup and that pan."
Sounds like ideal living over there. Like
Yes.
I'm pretty jealous.
Nothing like living in the suburbs of Stockholm in the middle of the forest.
Yeah,
And a $1,500 tool shed.
I did see your vlogs when you're in Sweden. I mean, it definitely looked like a tight squeeze in that little hut.
I slept on a couch for a month and a half or whatever.
No shit, that's brutal. Trav
What
took
I'll
the
tell you
king
is, Pat-
bed.
No, Pat, here's the deal. I'm usually not very good at rock, paper, scissors, but when the money's on the line, the bag's on the table,
You can scissor.
I don't mess around. Right? Sweens won every game of rock, paper, scissors. Who's getting shotgun on the bus? Who's getting the better seat with Big Save Dave? All this kind of stuff. Who's carrying groceries home? I always lost. When it mattered most, when the chips were down, who's going to get the bed? Who's getting the couch? Best 3 out of 5, swept them 3 straight. Thanks for coming. Keep the change. I got the bed.
So was it like a pull-out bed couch, or just a straight-up couch?
Straight up couch.
Didn't think maybe like an air bed or anything? Like maybe, I don't know.
Well, we were supposed to get that like other couch in there, but we never received it. It kept being like, "Oh, we'll do it. Well, we'll give it to you the next day. Or we'll give it to you next week."
Fucking
Next thing you know, we're in the Hotel L or Motel L, whatever the hell we stayed at.
Motels are nice. I had a
That
stint
was a
at a
decent
motel.
motel. It was cozy.
Yeah.
It was cozy, but it was nice.
I
For
had
the
a
price, you got a lot of value.
Actually,
had
I'm
a
gonna say this. I
stint.
don't think your bed was much better than the couch. I think it might have been just an even thing at the.
The twin bed and the couch were probably the same size. I think you had the benefit though, because I had to put like pillows and like dirty laundry as like something to like elevate my neck, as opposed to like your couch had a built-in rest. So you bitched and complained most of the time. Nights when Sweens would go and stay over at a lady's house, I'd take all of his bedding, all of his pillows, and just use it as like a support for my neck. It was incredible. I even folded. He had like a bed support thing. I folded it in half one night, used it as a pillow. It was great.
That's
Yeah,
enough.
probably if you're blasting the hub 8 times that night.
Sweet's is like, what are you gonna do tonight? I went over to see my lady. I'm like, I'm gonna throw myself around this room for the next 8 hours straight. You got no idea.
Oh, you had
It's
a
actually funny
lady.
because I forgot something, and I've been out for 10 minutes at the bus stop. I forgot something, so I quickly ran back, and Travis is like, Travis is like, Sweens, you're about 2 seconds off.
So you had a lady in Sweden.
I had a few.
Oh, a few ladies.
Not to brag, but if we're gonna tell the stories how it should be, and I had the benefit of having friends that actually lived in Stockholm.
Oh, so you had the inner circle.
Well, and yeah, so
The ladies.
I had the cheat card. Trav was just
Trav didn't have much
Trav was
success
just
over
on
there.
Tinder and then running out of swipes and trying to reset his account and then asking for my phone number. That's a good story.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you reset?
I'll tell.
Do you reset
Here's
your
the deal,
account?
okay? If you reset it, you get to the
Yeah.
top of the food chain. Like they pump you out first, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so in Sweden, right, we would get month-to-month phone plans. It's like $30, and you get like all you can eat data. It's incredible. And so every month, you literally have to go down, to the basically the 7-Eleven of Sweden and get in like a new plan. And so one day, my phone plan expired. So I go to reset my account, and I can't because my phone number is not working. I'm like, oh my god, like. Sweens, give me your SIM chip for a sec. I gotta reset my account. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. You're gonna set it up under my name. Dogs gotta eat, man. Come on.
Yeah, this is like 2 days after you said that you didn't want to get another phone plan. It's like, Sweens, you can just use all the data. You can get us around places. I'm not going to have a phone plan. 2 days later, I reset my phone. I reset my Tinder. I need a phone number.
That
Dude.
was the only thing stopping me.
So I've heard I had a friend tell me that he resets his Tinder often. Is it effective?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Add some new photos, maybe.
I would.
Change a few photos around, maybe. See how it. Oh. Oh, perfect. Let me visit.
My dad should
Shit.
love this part of the podcast.
Does he get uncomfortable with this talk?
I think he does. You know what? I'm gonna tell this story. My dad's not gonna like this, but I'm gonna tell this anyway. And I told Sweens this, okay? So my dad's brother, Uncle Ed, love him, God bless him, great guy. He lives in Calgary. And anytime I go to see Uncle Ed, he always tells me stories about my dad that my dad would never tell me. Like my dad was shoveling snow off the roof one year, a couple years ago, and I told him, Dad, don't. Yeah, Sweens is already. So my dad, he's texting me. He's like, son, and this is like in the middle of April. I'm in Vancouver Island. He's in Winnipeg. He's like, I'm gonna shovel the snow off my roof today. And I was like, why would you do that? It's gonna melt in like 2 weeks. He's like, well, it could damage the gutter, and it's bothering me. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna shovel it off the roof. I'm like, Dad, I don't care that you think you're 21 years old. You're almost 70. My dad hates when I tell him that, but he's coming up on 70. Like you don't need to be on the roof shoveling snow. And so, whatever. Anyway, I got a call 2 or 3 days later from his brother. Hey, did you hear your dad's in the hospital? I was like, no. Did he fall off the roof? Yes, he did. And I'm like, oh, God. So I call my dad right away. I'm like, hey, Dad, how's it going? And I can tell right away by his tone of voice, he knows why I'm calling. He knows that I know what happened. He's like, I'm good. How are you? So he fell off the roof, didn't you? Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I'm like, are you in the hospital right now? He's like, no, I'm just in the ambulance. Going to go get checked out. I'm like, yeah, okay, so it's pretty bad. But so anyway,
Is he good? Is he all right?
Oh yeah, my dad's good. I think he broke his hip, but they put it back in place, and they had him out of there a couple days later.
What's a couple hips? No one needs them.
Yeah. My end of April, yeah. Last second or third week of April, he was doing that.
Just impatient. He said, I'm going to fuck with Mother Nature today. Now I'm getting rid of this snow early. And it bit him in the hip.
He fell off the ladder, yep. Coming down. I told him. But
that's beautiful.
Anyway, that's
well, I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad he's okay. That
Yes.
sounds very painful.
Anyway,
I just have a
no
picture
comment.
of Ed up on the roof, just like trying to push it down, he's like straight slipping like the whole time. Like I don't know how he thought that was a good idea.
Well, from what I was told, he didn't fall off the roof. He like was on. My dad was on the roof. He goes on the ladder to come down, and the ladder just goes ass over tea kettle and then hits the ground. So
Dude, well, on the fact that, like, your dad may be getting uncomfortable with when we talk about women or sexual stuff, maybe, which I don't remember actually telling a sex story, but apparently I did. I hope it was a detailed, good one. But my parents don't listen to the podcast, so that's something. They watch my videos, but they're not investing an hour of their day into me like that. So shout out to your dad for listening.
You know, he's committed, man. My mom was the opposite. My mom tells me, she's like, "Oh yeah, I saw you post this video," and I was like, "Did you watch it?" "Yeah." And then I ask her a question. She has no idea what I'm even talking about.
Yeah.
She does a great job of going through the motions. Anyway, she's a school teacher. But anyway, shall we get into some Sweden talk, some European hockey talk, shall we?
We shall.
Why don't we start off with that air mattress that they promised us? I still think my sticks are going to come before that air mattress does.
The couch, the IKEA couch, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet it's still sitting in Onder's shed, locked up.
You know, here's a piece of information for you, Pat, and anybody listening to the podcast. One thing that we learned out the hard way was everything needs to be like from the path you're going to take to the rink to the type of water bottles they're using. Get everything in writing, because otherwise stuff like this happens. Like when I signed, they said, we'll get you some sticks. We got a deal with CCM. We'll get you 6 sticks throughout the year. Well, still to this day, I haven't seen one stick. When I got there, they're telling me, hey, like we'll get you the sticks next week. We'll get you the sticks next week, and next week turns into next week. And I remember I had one game. I threw up a 938 save percentage. Thanks for coming. 50 shots that night. And I said to coach after the game, because I figured if there's a time to get a stick, now it's the time to get a stick. I'd carry the team tonight. And I said to him, coach, how about that stick? My current one's, it's breaking apart a little bit. Wouldn't mind doing it. He's like, don't worry, we'll get you a stick soon. You just worry about stop puck. Why didn't you stop extra puck tonight? We lost 3-2. Stuff like that.
Stop puck, we lost 3-2. That sounds Russian. Is he Russian?
48 shots.
So he's from, where was he from, Sweden? Was it Hungary or Czech? Slovakia, sorry. And I remember talking to him on the phone the first couple times when we're negotiating.
He played in the show for a bit. So.
Yeah,
Love a Slovakian accent.
But when I was talking to him when we were negotiating, I thought I was talking to a Russian. I told the agent that I had at the time, I'm like, dude, am I signing to play in Sweden or am I signing the KHL? Like, this guy literally sounds like he's from Russia. I'm in the dressing room one day, stretching before practice. He comes in and he's like, oh, I didn't expect to see you there. I just went to IKEA. What are you doing here? I was like, oh, I'm just stretching. He's like, oh, have you ever tried the meatballs and the gravy sauce? It's incredible. You got to try this sauce. You got to try the meatballs. Oh, incredible. I was like, no, I haven't gone to IKEA. Trust me, you want to go to IKEA. Like, literally, like just this crazy Russian bear. He's coming out to practice. He's like, come sit on top of paint. Get to the top of paint. Everything be fun. You stop puck. Puck hit you if you want on top of paint. And I'm thinking, dude, do you realize how fucking slow I am? I can't move around the crease like Jonathan Quick. I'm sitting on the goal line for a reason. Come to top of paint. Everything be fine. No, we don't have pegs here. You don't need pegs for your net. This guy was crazy. Insane.
No sticks? He wouldn't give you the sticks?
No, and I remember, so the place we're living at, right? So, and this is not made it to the vlog. So when we signed, it was $500 a month. When we got there, it was $1,000 a month. After the guy dropped off the pan and a couple coffee mugs, it was $1,500 a month for rent every month for this tool shit. And coach calls me one day. We're having dinner with Dan, a buddy we had, and he calls me and says, have you guys paid the rent yet? The landlords are pissed off. They don't have their money yet. It's been 2 months. And I'm like, well, yeah, they haven't asked for money. Like, we've seen them twice in 2 months. Make sure you pay them. And then I explained to him that, that they've been jacking the rent up. And he says, you know what? This is your problem. I don't want to get involved. I'm like, this is the place you set up. You said you knew them. Well, make sure you pay that rent on time. And then long story short, when we found out the transfer cards weren't good, because I got a call, like my current agent, he calls me out of the blue, tells me, listen, the transfer cards for you in Sweens are fake, and you're about to find that out very soon. We go to practice that night, what happens? No transfer cards. So this guy all of a sudden, he knows what he's talking about. And he says, okay, we're going to get you out of the team. Sweens is like, oh, we'll just go to the hotel, we'll live there, but we'll keep going to practice, no problem. And me and Sooner both told him, no, you got to cut ties. You don't go to the team no more, you go to the hotel, you camp out for a week or two, we'll get you a new team. So we, like, literally on a Saturday, when everybody, in the landlord's house was gone, because we're in the tool shed in the backyard, they're in the house, they're going on some vacation, we moved everything we had. like clothes. We packed up all late, like during the night before, and we took everything. We did about, what was it, 4 trips, Sweens, give or take.
Yeah, about that. It was a long day.
So yeah, 4 trips, Pat. We took everything. We had to walk down the road to the bus station with suitcases, backpacks, everything. Take the bus about 15 minutes away. Get the train station, hop on the train for 20 minutes, and then we got to walk to the hotel. And we went back and forth about 4 times that day. So 8 trips to move our stuff to this hotel. And then at the end, like we're talking like a 12, 14-hour day of just moving shit back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then finally, our buddy Dave comes and picks us up, drives us to the rink. We found out everybody at the rink was gone, right? Like nobody's going to be at the rink this night. So now is the time. We got all of our stuff at the hotel. We're good for the place that we're living at. We got to get our gear. Our gear is the priority. So we go.
So it was like a heist. You guys are sneaking out.
Is this not a heist, Sweens, based on what I'm describing?
A heist, because like I remember when Dave pulled into the neighbor's driveway, and then we were like hopping over like the bush that was there, and it was like up to like my chest basically. So like we're just tossing stuff over to him over this bush, and then because they were home at that time.
Yeah, we didn't want to get busted. So, Pat. So basically, instead of taking the walkway through the backyard, we just went behind the trees and started throwing suitcases over the bushes and trying to get them in the back of Dave's truck. Took off. I remember we got in the vehicle. I was like, "Get out! Just floor, hit the gas. Let's get out of here."
We actually cleaned the place too.
Yeah, they ended up calling us after. They're like, "You guys destroyed the place. You broke windows. You van." I'm like, "Dude, we cleaned the place. It was spotless. The place was a dump when we got there.
I had pictures.
We had evidence. We filmed it. We filmed ourselves cleaning. You can't say we didn't clean it.
We filmed the thing. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, you don't believe us. Take a look. We did a great job. But we get to the rink, and a couple days, like the day or two before, they've been talking about they want to get bags out of the room. Like they want to get as much stuff out of the room as possible for floor space, which is fair. I personally don't like that because I have a lot of things. I want them in my bag, and I want them underneath, like where I'm dressing, so I can swap things out. I can change gloves. I can, you know what I mean? Like that's how I like things. So we get into the dressing room, and my bag and my shit's gone. I'm like, where's my stuff? You know. And then I remember them talking about this like storage unit, like the storage closet where they're gonna put everything. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how to get in there. I don't have a key. You know, I'll go talk to the Zamboni driver. You know, and the Zamboni driver like didn't really speak much English, but I said to him, can you let me in? He lets us into this gear room, and they have all my stuff locked up in a cage, like literally like a cage, like at Best Buy. You know, like when you want to steal a laptop, it's in a cage. That's where my gear was in. And so me and Swains look at each other, and I'm like, you know what? I'm breaking in. So I climb this cage, I get on top, I shimmy my way through the cage. I don't know how I did it. We didn't film it because I didn't have a camera on me at the time.
I have no idea how this happened, but like
this is not true.
Like I wish that we had video footage of this.
Because there's this big 6'5" man just slithering through this cage to get my gear back, or at least my bag and what was in my bag. So we get it back, we go to the dressing room, start loading up stuff, and the Sweens is like, oh, I forgot my bag. Because he didn't bring his bag, because he left it at the hotel because he was using to move stuff. Sorry, you want to interrupt me?
Yeah, so we had this planned out before, so I took my I had a rip on my bag on the strap. So I was like, hey, I need to go take my bag to get it repaired. I thought to play ahead. So wasn't gonna get it repaired, but I just brought it home with me. And all this shit was happening. I ended up forgetting my bag at the hotel when we were going to the rink. And we were halfway there, and I was like, fuck it, we're just going to carry it all out. So in the video, I'm literally carrying all my hockey gear in my arms to the truck.
Curls, baby, getting your workout in.
Curls.
Pat, he legit did like 8 trips, and if you look at the video, he's carrying like 2 shin pads and a bunch of socks. He's carrying a helmet, a couple practice jerseys, like a dirty towel, some shampoo. Things are falling all over the place. You know, I'm packing up, and then at the time, because at this point in time, we're pissed off, right? Like we're talking a $1,500 round trip for a flight. All the time I spend over the summer, I have a feeling they're going to try to fleece us and try to take the $5,000. Because at this point in time, we've owed them $5,000 for rent, haven't paid them a dime. I'm feeling a little bit taken advantage of. I got the room to myself. If it's not nailed down, I'm taking it. So I'm looking at the stick rack. Swings is like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I might take a stick. And I'm looking at the sticks. Everything's left-handed. I'm a right-handed shot. So I'm like, you know what? I can't take a stick. So you know what I'm going to do? I go into the equipment closet, and I steal my jerseys. I take my game, my home and my away jersey, and I took 4 goalie practice jerseys. Took them all. Shoved them in my bag. Sween's like, don't do that. You can't do that. I'm like, Sween's, they hosed us. I'm taking the jerseys. I'm taking them all, and I'm selling them on Sideline Swap tomorrow. Use the promo code TravisSucks for $7 off. So I get all that stuff. We get all of our gear, and we get out of the rink. We take everything, we leave it empty, and we're gone. We're out of there. And we never ended up paying the $5,000. Like, still to this day, we owed him $5,000. And then our coach at the time, he calls me a couple days later. He's like, "Where'd you guys go? Your gear's not here. I'm hearing you left the place ransacked at the place you're living at. You broke windows. Your place is like a pigsty. Where are our practice jerseys?" Haven't heard from me since. Left them on red like 5 times. And he kept sending me that message and calling me. Red. Left on red. See you later, buddy.
Just non-stop, and you never gave it, eh?
I'm
So, like,
dude, see you later.
They fucked you over, though.
Absolutely.
100%. Even the things in writing didn't happen. There
So-
was stuff in writing that they just didn't do. They just didn't do their job.
So you guys
Neither
took
did that
off?
first agent. That first agent definitely didn't do his job.
You know, he tried. I'll give him this. Like, Sweens and I think can both agree. He tried, but at the end of the day, the agent, his job is to take care of the dirty stuff. So when the team's screwing us around, you know, they're not following through on the expectations. We're living in a tool shed. Like, things just aren't going the way that we want. Like, for example, we're getting like 8 guys out to practice. And yeah, one of the guys at practice plays for the Detroit Red Wings and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Great. That's awesome. But we still have 8 guys out to practice. You know, like there's bigger issues here. And when the agent is not taking care of that, and he's like, "Oh, well, I tried." Well, clearly you didn't, because the message hasn't gotten across the coach and nothing's been taken care of. Which is why I literally, like, when this all went down, I literally, like, Sweens, was I not ready to put a hole through the wall? I called him and I just screamed him out over the phone. I don't think you were even there for that. I think you left because you.
Well, I've seen the video. I've seen all the clips of it. I watched it like through, and we were going through, and I was like, "You should probably take this part out." And, like, well,
It basically got to the point where, like, we'll take his.
he was
smart.
pissed.
You were just
He
throwing
was
them all on
fucking
blast
pissed.
on YouTube. You were just like, "Fuck
Dude.
these guys! I'm exposing them."
Dude, I was ready to just lose my mind and put anybody through a wall that had sandbagged us up to this point. Because, like, I'm thinking is like, dude, we're 7,000 kilometers away from home in a country I don't know very well. You know, you just fleeced us for this transfer card, which is $2,000. You fleeced us for the, you know, for the round trip flights, which is $1,500. Sweens and I invested a lot. You know, we wasted time. We're screwed now because teams have just finalized a roster. Like, I'm pissed. You know.
So, where did you guys go after this? Did you fly home, or did you switch teams?
Hotel, baby.
Dude, I had a buddy of mine on a junior team I played for, and I filled in as an assistant coach one game because the head coach decided to go to Mexico a day early, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Shout out Rick Jackman, former NHL player.
Fucking
I decided to go
Mexico.
on vacation a day early, so I had to fill in as assistant coach, and I was coaching D. And one of the kids that I was coaching, I hit it off with, like, during the week when I was, like, just practicing with them. And then, ironically, the night before, I saw him and a couple of guys out at the club. So that was, they didn't know I was coaching them the next day, so that was funny. But I really hit it off with him. And then he was playing in a town called Karlskoga, which is between Örebro and Karlstad, if you guys are geo wizards. Probably
Not
doesn't
much.
mean anything. But yeah, he was playing there, and I called him up and I was like, "Hey, do you guys have room for an import?" And they were like, "Yeah, we're actually looking for an import." So
There you go.
I ended up getting a team like almost immediately, which was kind of cool.
Now hold on for a sec. Pat, you're probably wondering, we slug out all this time on the bus and the train to move our stuff. We slugged out a full week. Well, I slugged out a full week in the hotel by myself. Sweens only did for like 2 days. And you're wondering, how did you muster up the energy to do this?
Yeah.
Billy's Smelling Salts.
Oh,
Sponsor for the podcast.
nice.
Sweens and I were literally in the downtown suburbs of Stockholm, snorting smelling salts.
You guys
getting
gave them a
ourselves
puff,
wired.
eh? A little huffer?
Yeah.
There you go. You guys were ready to win then. Because at Billy's Smelling Salts, they get you in the zone. They're designed for gamers, athletes, and competitors like ourselves to get ready to win.
Or to get yourself out of a really shitty situation.
And they yeah, if you were going for a heist, little Billy's, get you through that heist. And you can buy Billy's Smelling Salts. If you need some for yourselves, head over to shopbillys.co and use the code BIZKIT69. You can purchase Billy's Smelling Salts for a discount. Is it 20% off?
I think it's 20% off. Yeah, if
20%
you're like
off.
us You end up in a situation you don't want to be in. Maybe, listen, you invite your lady over for the night, and she's a little frisky, a little demon, and you're not in the mood. Just take a hop at Billy's and good to go. You're ready. You're fired up. You're re-energized, and you can do whatever you want. Again, shop.billys.co, promo code BISKIT69. People, we are a small podcast. We like to ask you to buy some Billy Smelling Salts because if you do, they pay us. They pay us a lot more money than they have currently.
Billy's Smelling Salts right now with the 20% discount is $13.60. For some smelling salts, you get 20 of them. 20 smelling salts. Individually wrapped. Crushable. You snap, shake, and sniff. $13.60, boys. That's that simple. It's killer. Billy's has the best smelling salts, dude.
You're going to be ready to win when you pick them up. Thanks to Billy's for sponsoring this podcast. Back to the story.
So, Trev, when you say you're going back to Sweden, it's not the same team.
No, so basically, I spent the week in the hotel, and then legitimately at the 11th hour, Soon gives me a call. We got you a team. You're going down there or to the train station tomorrow. We're going to get you taken care of. And so that was the team that I went to. And I was there for, I like to say, 2 weeks. And then the season got paused and then canceled. So all in all, through the pause, I was there for probably about a month and change, give or take. Season canceled. I went home, and that is the team that I'm going back to play with for this season in Varberg.
Okay.
On the West Coast.
Everything was good there. All good, all love.
Oh, dude. You know what? It was literally, like, and Sweens and I were talking about this, like, on FaceTime, like, right after. It was, like, a total 360. Like, you go from living in a tool shed where, like, I wish there was a way to paint a picture how bad that bathroom smelled. Like, you can't put that in video format because there's no way to translate that. I wish there was a way to do it and have people experience it.
Like, you guys are in the trenches. You got
literally.
I don't know what this was, but there was this, like, it was like the tank was, like, above it and it would, like, leak.
Yeah.
It was clean water. I mean, it was probably clean water.
Yeah. Let's go with a maybe. Let's go with a maybe clean water.
You have to take this bucket and dump it.
That's disgusting, guys. That's tough. That's when you know you're just in the trenches. You got the bucket. I just picture you guys shitting in a bucket. Like, you don't have a toilet. You just have a fucking bucket. You got a piss hole. That's fucking ideal. Guys, go play in Sweden. You get piss holes and shit buckets over there. It's awesome. I can't wait.
The washrooms, the washrooms, like the urinals, are all just like fucking troughs almost. So
I'm gonna join you.
It's like Winnipeg Jets game. Awesome. To the bathroom, the Jets game at MTS Center. But
that's
like
awesome.
Back to like the 8 guys showing up to practice thing. So we were like we had guys from like other teams showing up to our practices.
Because we couldn't get guys to fill in for practice. We get like 4 guys.
Some guys like guys that were playing like Division 4 for like just to chill. They were like good hockey players, but like they were just like literally just because their teams didn't practice. And it was like basically it's beer league, like really like just beer league for them. So and then like we'd have 8 guys plus like the fucking U16s or like U18s like practicing with us. So it was like basically like a midget AA hockey practice. It felt like maybe single A.
Like, so that's the world that we're living in, Pat. And
that's ideal.
When I say we're in the bush,
I get it. I get what it's Division 2 for them. That's like semi-pro amateur hockey over there. But for imports, like you have to take it a little bit more seriously because otherwise they'll cut you.
Yeah, makes sense.
Otherwise, you're the hate in your life.
But regardless, you should be showing up to practice if you're committed.
Right, for sure. I would say so if you're on a team. Makes sense.
Well, and that's the world that we're in there. We're living in the bush. And when I say the bush, Sweens, we're deer not coming to the door. We're literally getting deer on our doorstep. Literally, Pat. The forest, in the bush, in a tool shed. And then I go to my new team, and I'm living in a place that has a sunroom, a sauna, a hot tub, like 3 60-inch TVs, a ping pong table, a backyard. We're living like I'm like a 500-meter walk away from the ocean.
That's sick.
The guy that I'm living with drives an Audi. He lets me take it out whenever I want. Like, we're talking a complete 180. Like, it doesn't get any more different. Like, I remember, I came down before practice, and there's this old lady. I can't remember her name. I wish I did. But I remember her face. And I remember I'm walking around, like I'm talking to our coach. We had a little bit of meeting about like expectations and stuff. And I'm walking down the staircase, and she says to me in her old lady voice, she's like, you're the YouTube goalie that I heard about. You make the videos, don't you? And I was like, yes, ma'am, I do. She's like, I heard a lot of good things about you. And I said, I'm really excited to play for you. I really am. I'm excited to be here. She's like, I bought this chocolate bar. I usually have it for myself while you guys practice, but I'd like you to have it. It was like an orange, like one of those like Terry's chocolate orange chocolate bars. I'll never.
Yeah.
She gave me the whole chocolate bar. I was just happy to, like that's the kind of family atmosphere.
Fuck yeah. She was the coach too.
No. I think.
She was your backup goalie. Nice.
Yes.
She sounds the sweetest. Rip some pucks off her face. That's awesome. Dude, Sweden's great. I really like that place.
But international, that's the place I'm going back to, and they've treated me
Well, it sounds
like family.
better.
Really
It sounds
good.
much better. I'm happy that you got an upgrade. That's awesome. Let me give a little reaction here. Hold on. We're excited for you. We're clapping.
Best goalie in Division 3.
The only goalie in Division 3. Nobody else has a regular goalie sign.
I think that wraps the Sweden talk up. Should we discuss some of the recent NHL shenanigans going on?
All you can eat. Pizza.
Buffet.
Pasta. Ribs. Breadsticks. Caesar salad. Dessert.
that.
Apple pie. The ice cream machine just goes all day long when you're Marc-Andre Fleury tossing it up behind the net.
He had 2 misplays that game. He had the one when Mark Stone threw it back at him, and he just completely biffed on it, went into the corner.
I really enjoyed Pierre Maguire. Yeah, Fleury's puck has been game-changing. Hey there, Doc. Yeah. Oh, it's Fleury. Gives it away. He gives him a gimme.
Yeah, Pierre's ahead of the game. He's really with it these days. Just yeah. He's great. His interview was pretty funny. He was talking about the Twitter hate and how it inspires him.
It's like, I got in the team bus. I go about 4 hours before the game.
Just a slight brag.
And I spent about, I come early. I come to prepare.
Yeah,
I spent about 2 hours scrolling through Twitter.
Yeah.
Reading all
Not
the
many.
shit.
He went from acting like he was there, like prepping. He's like, yeah, many of you don't know I come to the game 6 hours early, and I was spent 3 of those hours reading Twitter. Like, oh, nice.
When I saw that, it was too. I had to post it on Instagram. I was like, this is like, what a troll job. Incredible.
He loved the Twitter hate. I feel like, I don't know. Do you think he loved it? Do you think it really inspired him?
It resonates with me because I know Pat doesn't get a lot of hate. Another example is Casimir Kaskasuo. He tells me when he's on a podcast and when we talk over text, he's like, it's nice. I love getting the love and the positive feedback. I've never gotten a dislike on my videos. I've never gotten a negative message. I just get my popcorn ready and I just sit there and munch. I just watch, see what people come up and what they want to say about me. And I live through what Leonard said, just the joy of what are they going to say next?
Interesting.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I don't get as much hate as you. I get my fair share, but not. Yeah, you get some solid hate going on. It's great.
Even your buddy Dinger, eh? Even Dinger, by the way, we need to bring him on the podcast.
Well, we heard
Dinger.
Yeah, Dinger. Apparently, there's goalie forum. There's a community of goalies I didn't know about. I started learning more about the goalie forums, the community. I had a couple people come up to me actually. So one being Dinger, it was like, "Oh, I saw you collab with that Trav guy, the YouTuber." I'm like, "Oh yeah." And he's like, "What's he like?" I'm like, "What do you mean? He seemed like a good guy. We went on the ice, blah blah blah." He's like, "Oh yeah, he gets ripped on in the goalie forums." I'm like, the forums? I didn't. Okay, blah blah blah, whatever. I'm like, "Well, yeah, he seemed like a good guy to me. I don't know, man. Whatever." They're probably just mad because he's, not in the NHL or not D1 and he's more popular than them. They're probably there's probably some sort of jealousy going on there.
Dude, I legitimately have my own subreddit. I'm not kidding you. 2 or 3 years ago, there's a subreddit of why people hate Trav for Oilers. My own Reddit forum to give you an idea.
But I actually had another goalie too, he's like an emergency goalie in the area. He's in his 30s, and he also asked and said the same thing about the goalie forums. I'm like, oh Jesus, you guys are really deep in there. There's no forwards, forums. There's no right wing forums. I'm not in these, so I don't know about your fucking weird goalie shit going on there.
Maybe
But-
I've single-handedly cultivated this community just to come together and just hate me. I don't
I
know.
think it's just goalies being goalies at that point.
Yeah, it's the fucking goalie. Such a goalie thing to have their own forum, dude.
Dude, I was talking
Fucking
to a goalie buddy of mine last night, Billy, my boy Billy, listens to the podcast, ACAC goalie, and we talk about just like he always messages me when he sees something crazy pop up online about me, and like, dude, it's absolutely sickening that some people, you got a wife, you got kids, and you neglect them to go on Facebook and shit on a guy who's playing the game. Meanwhile, you can barely stand up on the ice. You're picking up your beer league trophy. You're like, yeah, I won my Division 19 Men's League Championship in GGSU. Yeah, I'm a champion. Yeah. Dude, you can't even skate. You're going to sit here. You're going to shit talk me while you're pretending, wishing you were me because I'm making YouTube videos, which has turned hockey into my full-time job. You're listening to this podcast while you hate your job and you neglect your kids and you neglect your wife. You're a shitty husband. You're a shitty father. Be ashamed of yourself, man. Absolutely sickening what some of these guys do.
It's obviously people talk, it's a common subject, but it's like there is something wrong or sad. Yeah. To have such like I have never in my life even thought, if I didn't like a video, say on YouTube or something, I don't know, maybe I didn't enjoy the guy or the video itself, never have I ever been like, I'm gonna comment and make sure he knows that I fucking hate him and I hope he dies. Like, it's such a weird thing. Like, who are these people and what is so wrong with their life that they feel the need to comment to try to bring you down? It's really, really weird.
The only thing... Sorry, go ahead, Sweets.
So there was a guy, when we were living together, there was a guy that always used to comment on our videos. I'm not going to say who it is, but he was a D1 player.
Say his name.
I'm not saying his name. I'm not saying his name.
We could blur.
It was his burner. It was a burner account, but I figured out who it was.
Is it Dingleberry?
Dingleberry. If you want to talk about that guy, holy, that's a whole different conversation. Dingleberry never played D1 hockey. He never touched the rink.
Well, he would tell us he played D1 hockey. Anyway, sorry.
We'll get into it. If you want to get into that guy after, or if we don't.
Episode 14. That's episode 14.
Continue.
Sorry. So yeah, it was a burner account for this D1 player. I figured out who it was, and I kept thinking. I was like, you played Division 1 NCAA hockey. Like, do you not have better things to do than tell me that I suck at hockey?
That's actually so weird and so sad. Really, really sad.
You should not need to have the need to comment that, let alone on a burner account.
That's really sad. That makes me wonder, like, how many people have burner accounts in my comments that are actually like D1 guys or something.
It was his name was like just spelt like differently.
Did he? Do I know?
And I called him out, like saying like about like where he played and stuff, and then he just I caught him on it. And
Did he play it? Did he play at Maine?
No, he did not play at Maine.
Right. Just seeing if I knew him.
Where did he play? Tell us the team. Just say the team.
Played in Alaska. I'm not going to say which school.
Oh, the Ice Wolves, eh? The Ice Wolves. Heart of
One
Stone.
of those. That's
Alaskan school, but he played for an Alaskan school.
That's sad.
The only thing that I can think of that like justifies the hate is. I remember when I was a kid, when I was like 10 years old, you watch the Leafs games, and I remember thinking like, Andrew Raycroft sucks. I could do a better job than him. Or, Vesa Tossler, or Luongo, they suck. I could do a better job. You know what I mean? These guys suck, and I'm 10 years old and I'm better than them. But because you don't understand. You just don't get it. Simply put, right? When, Pat and I talked about this with Dale Weiss. Dale Weiss changed my life because here's a fourth-line NHL plug, a shitty NHL player, and I'm using air quotes for shitty NHL player, and this guy just pumped a million pucks past me. Imagine what a true NHL first liner could do. And then you appreciate how good these guys are. So for me personally, and I think Pat's on the same page, no such thing as a bad NHL goalie. There's a bad goalie in the NHL, but no bad NHL goalies. He's like every NHL goalie, even Craig Anderson, I love him, I respect him because they've done something that I will never touch and something that I admire. But when you're some dude on Facebook, like I said, you're neglecting your wife, you're neglecting your 8 kids that you don't have time for because you're on these forums, trying to be, look, I got new skates, check this out, whatever. It's sickening because you don't understand. You have no grip. You have no grip on reality.
I don't think they have a right to say an NHL player sucks or say, because it's all in comparison. Like another NHL player might say, oh, like that guy kind of sucks. But in reality, he doesn't mean they suck at hockey in general, because like they're both in the NHL. There's a respect, but it's like in comparison to the other NHLers, you kind of suck. And that's how it's like viewed. A guy sitting on the couch watching TV that never fucking made it past high school hockey has no right to ever say like, oh, this guy sucks. Like, no, he doesn't. He's in the NHL. Remember that. He does not suck. He might not be as good as Crosby, but he does not suck.
Like, I skate with like an AHL European group, and like my mind. This is when I was like 19, 20. And my mind was just blown the entire time at how good those guys were, just how smart they were. They did how fast they thought the game. And then we had a couple. It was Chris Stewart and Chris Versteeg were out there. Besides Chris Stewart's awful skating, like the level those two could play at was like insane to watch on the ice. It was such a treat to be out with them.
The Islanders absolutely shitting the bed last night. Or was that last night or 2 nights ago? I forgot. That was.
I don't know. I guess the bus driver. There was a snowstorm or something. The bus driver had to take it slow. They didn't warm up the game or something.
Yeah, Trav's dad didn't shovel the roof off.
They're a little bit behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Tampa. My dad's in Tampa. He forgot to shovel the roof.
Dude, that was shocking.
I'm standing on my guns. Islanders Cup final. Islanders in 6 over Vegas. Yep, they're gonna win in Game 7. They are gonna win tight.
Vegas and the Canadians are having a tight little series. Do we change our mind on the Canadian division, or are we just like were the Canadians just a sleeper in there?
It's Carey.
Yeah, well, he's disgusting. Yeah.
How about that greaser though that he gave like on the McNabb shot? Like he's dominating them, doesn't give him a sniff for 2 games, gives up 1 greaser through the body. And who am I to criticize? Right? Like I'm not an NHL goalie. But let him back in the game, and then they bury it in overtime. Makes an amazing save on the rebound on the overtime goal. But, like, you're just a small mistake away from shutting them out, going up 3-1. You can advance to the Cup final. You can prove all the doubters wrong. The biggest knock on Carey Price, he's not a winner. Hasn't won at the NHL level. There's your opportunity. And then, oh, man, I wanted them to win so bad because I hate Vegas. I hate Fleury, and I love that pizza he served at that all-you-can-eat.
Yeah, you're not a Fleury guy. We know.
Not a flower guy.
People are giving me shit online about that. He's not a bad goalie. He's up for the Vezina Trophy. Like
he's a great goalie.
You're not a shitty goalie. You get nominated.
Yeah, he's okay. He's a good goalie. Trav had a bad experience with him, and he's held a grudge. That's
Dude wouldn't take a picture with me. Big dog me. I ain't gonna be your fan. I ain't gonna support you.
You did get the picture though, which is confusing to me. You got the photo.
Because I told you in the podcast when we talked about it, I told my buddy Chris, here, I'm gonna go put my arm around him, take a picture of me, see what happens. I put my arm around him, and all of a sudden he turns around. So I don't know what to make of it. Like, did he not hear me? I'm a loud person. I don't know how he couldn't hear me, or did he just he's putting his arm around me? The camera's out. I better be nice. Because it seems like he's a nice guy on camera, and the feedback that I've seen online when the camera's not on, he's a dink. I've seen.
Hey, you never know. Maybe he is. You don't. That's the thing. You don't know the character of a person. Like I don't have no experience with this guy at all, but I know I've played with people who have been kind of scumbags and shit, and it's like no one really knows until you have an interaction with them. Not saying that Flower is or isn't. I have no idea, but there is a possibility that he could maybe be not so cool of a guy. Who knows? But keep holding that grudge. It's great.
It's good material for the podcast.
Yeah.
You know who's a scumbag? Jeremy Swayman.
Sway? You got a grudge on him too? Oh, you do. That's right. He walled you.
We do because he gave us he iced both you and I sent him another message.
Did I tell you I saw him? I want to say 3 weeks back when the Bruins were in the playoffs. He was obviously on the bench, but they should have played him in the final game. But Ed had a hotel room in the city. I forgot, and whatever. We didn't really put it together. He was flying to Latvia. The next morning, we're like walking out of the hotel, and all of a sudden Swayman pulls up in the car, and he's like, "What the hell are you guys doing here?" And we're like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Well, I live here." Like, "What are you doing here?" And we had this little like, "Oh, hey, I forgot to say like, yo, by the way, you ignored my text. What's your fucking problem, But so So the beef, I guess, still goes on.
He said he was going to come on the podcast, and then he just iced me, and then I hit him up again and got iced again. So maybe he's busy. I don't know. Maybe he typed the message up and didn't hit send. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I sometimes forget to reply to texts and shit too, though. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt for now. And then we'll go from there.
Sixth benefit of the doubt?
You know what? I've had enough doubts of benefits. He's done. He's done. We're fucking sick. We're holding grudge. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Well, in the words of Alice Cooper, no more Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah.
We like to thank you for listening to Slingin The Bizkit. As always, we drop a new episode every Thursday, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're on YouTube. We got some big things coming. We got some exciting things to talk about. Next week's episode, we got a couple guests lined up. I don't know if anybody's going to show up. Might just be Pat and I. Who knows? We'll find out next week. Both you and I. You listening at home. My dad's probably going to be calling me right away to give me shit about this podcast, so we'll end it here. Thanks for listening. Enjoy this last song, Green Day, American Idiot, 2004. What an album. We'll see you next week.